Hello everyone. Welcome back. Today we have a new and exciting, well, not exciting, but a new topic that I haven't seen done on YouTube before, and it is the top 10 sets. See, I'm just gonna dive right in here, but I gotta lay some ground rules first, in order to set the stage and what we'll be doing today. So first off, what is a set? A set is what the production crew used to use one at a time in order to film episodes instead of having one huge giant map that would take up a ton of space. So just one little portion of an area. And this was in CGI as well, even though the CGI sets were a bit inconsistent for obvious reasons I don't need to state. 2. These sets will not be judged off of mainly like rail arrangements or stations or shunting yards or anything like that. Sometimes they are, because that like bonuses their visual appeal, in my opinion. But sometimes they're about the scenery as well, and like the effects it gives and the vibes. And it's not always the rails or the stuff on the rails and the railway that actually gives it its charm. Also, worth mentioning, these sets will not be judged by like what happened on them, like a crash or something funny. It's just the sets themselves. If any character interactions that suck or that are really great or a huge crash, those will not be judged because it's not a part of the set itself. And 3, and this should go without mentioning, but none of this is fact. This is my opinion, and I am very aware that there are going to be some very unpopular opinions, so please take this with a grain of salt. Okay, now that's all out of the way. Let's get into the list. Starting with number 10, Henry's Tunnel. Yeah, some of these picks are really going to be controversial, but I'm ready. I got my shield. I'm ready for the comment section. Anyways, the reason that I like this set is probably the tunnel itself. Well, I mean, there's other stuff like the lake and the mountain it goes through, but really I like the tunnel. I like tunnels. But not to say that there isn't other cool stuff. Like, I do love the tunnel. I mean, I like the mountain that it goes through, and I think it's sculpted beautifully, but this is far from the best, but far from the worst as well. Number 9, Knapford. Okay, let me get things straight. The reason I picked this set wasn't just because of the station. It's a big factor, but not that. Also, it's not the yard combined. Together, it's a pretty deadly combination. But there are 2 other things that I really appreciate. 1, you can see the city of Knapford, which is like a thing only for this set. You can literally see it in the background of some shots in season 1. And 2, you can literally see Knapford Harbour in the background once you look through the station, which is really cool. You can see the cranes. I just think that's really cool that you can see 2 different sets, which one was showed and the other wasn't. But Knapford City is actually really cool, and it gives me Bob the Builder vibes for some odd reason. Tell me if that's just me. Number 8, Knapford Harbour. See, this is gonna be a common trend on these next picks. Industrial areas, which I really love industrial areas because it's always jam-packed and everything's going on, and ships are moving, or cranes are hauling, or trains are moving about. It's just crazy, and I love it, man. Probably the reason that this set isn't higher on the list is probably because we don't see it that often. You know, it's always the other ports and everything else that we see. But really, this set has some very great charm, and I'm glad that we saw it a lot in season 4, and the flying kipper taking off here is actually kinda genius. So every time we see the flying kipper, basically we see this set, which I'm very grateful for. Also, Bulstrode kinda dies on this set. Pretty cool. I don't know how to segue into the next thing. Number 7. Gordon's Hill. Particularly Season 1. See, the reason I say particularly Season 1 is because I prefer that version, because it's all windy and curvy, while every single other version is just straight up a hill and then straight down. I much prefer the windy and curvy and going over a bridge and ascending slowly. I love that and how ranged it is, apart from just straight up, straight down, which in my opinion is kind of boring. I'd also like to mention how coming from Wellsworth, the grade is super duper steep, and how they ever did that, which I know they pulled the models up with wires, it was so steep. However they did that, I love it. I love just watching the engines just struggle up the hill with all their might. Getting real tired and stuff. I love that bit. I think that's probably my favorite, and that's the part that actually stayed in the part that goes straight up, straight down. Number 6. This weird Skarloey Cliff Set. Not really much to talk about here. I really just chose a representative for the amazing Skarloey railway sets, and I chose for this one because it's a cliff, and I like cliffs, and it has lots of scenery on the side as well, and it looks great in snow, so I just chose this one. Not much to talk about. Number 5, the Incline. And no, I'm not actually talking about the classic Season 4 Incline. I'm talking about the hit Era Incline, aka Skarloey the Brave Incline. See, the reason that I like this one better is I feel like it captures the height a bit better, and it's a bit taller, and a bit monumental in that sense. And I believe I've seen reference photos from real inclines, and they are tall, like really, really tall. And I feel like this one conveys that a bit better, a bit like that concept a bit better. And I also wanted to mention that there is this weird line that's steep that goes up to the same place the incline does, so it can have repairs and stuff. But my response to that is, why would you need an incline then if you've already got a narrow gauge line going up where all the ore is? Like, do you want it that quick that you need a rusty old incline to get you up there? Like, that's so pointless. I'm not gonna deal with this hit Era crap right now, okay? I gotta move on and get to the top 5. Number 4, the Smelters Yard. My favorite version is the one from Halloween, the Season 8 episode, which many others can say because of the effects and all the scrap laying around. Ooh, it gives you the vibes. And believe it or not, my favorite part of the set isn't actually the smelter shed itself, but the area around it and all the scrap and just mystery that could be laying outside. Ooh, I love it. But the smelter shed is almost equally as creepy because all of the red lights flickering and all the scrap laying around and the claw that Stepney literally almost died from. I love it. And it's more of on the outside, the things you don't know and don't see. But when you're in the smelter's yard, it's the things you can see. And it's because of the uneasy feeling you get from outside and inside the smelter shed and yard is why I put it on this list. Number 3, Brendam Docks. Oh, you thought it was this one? Oh, no. That's better. See, the reason that I like this set better than the other Brendam Docks is because it has everything. It has Brendam Station, which honestly, it's not too shabby. And it's got real water, which you can actually see, like with your own eyes, which can barely be said for the other set. And also, the ships varying is crazy. I love it. While the other Brendam only has like cruise ships. That's basically it. And quick note, the boats that were used especially on this set were named after crew members, as you can see. I think that's so funny. Like you can see Steve on this one for Steve Asquith. I think that's so clever into working in the crew into this own little show they made. So yeah, not much else to say. Area of industry, I told you. And number 2 is the Blue Mountain Quarry. As this set is the only CGI set on this whole entire list, gosh dang it, this is crazy! Like you got engines puffing in and out of tunnels, on and off bridges, over and into like machines, like what? I am so glad we got this set. I mean, man, this is probably one of my favorite things Nitrogen has done through their reign. This is crazy! And for the first time on this list, I can finally declare that a character can be considered with the set. Or characters, because Owen and Merrick are technically tied to this set. So that means they are a part of this set. And man, their designs are amazing. I think my favorite is Owen, because looking at a different incline instead of just the same old incline as we discussed earlier, I like Owen. And one last thing I love about this set, of the many, many things I love about this set, is the cliff sides and how they give such a sense of giganticism, if that's a word. And like huge and large, and how incredibly tall those cliffs are. And it only makes it more suspenseful when Thomas is dangling over it in the climax, which, yeah, Blue Mountain Mystery's kind of W. And number 1, the best set of all Thomas and Friends, ranging from season 1 through all the way to 24, and which somehow tops the Blue Mountain Quarry. And that set is the Wharf. What is there to say about the Wharf? Well, first let's talk about the similarities between the Blue Mountain Quarry and the Wharf. First off, the narrow gauge engines and the standard gauge engines meet in both places. And second, these both places are areas of industry. As I said, I am a huge fan of areas of industry. And third, they are both incredibly busy all the time. But what the Wharf has that the Blue Mountain Quarry just quite doesn't is snow. I like my Wharf snowy, bruh. Another difference between the two sets is that you don't quite see all of the Wharf. But in this scenario, it's not a bad thing, because you see the Wharf a lot for when it was introduced. But you don't quite see all of it, which to me, that just allows more creativity in your own imagination. And it's really limitless to what you can do with the Wharf. It could be really small, you're just seeing it all, or it could be really big, you're only seeing a little portion. And that's really what separates the two, in my opinion. And the only reason I actually like Thomas's Tricky Tree is, 1, because of the crash. I like the crash. And 2, the Wharf set itself. Really dull really dull story by Sharon Miller. But the Wharf really just raises it to one of the best, in my opinion. Okay, one of the best might be an overstatement. Well, I hope you enjoyed me banging on about Thomas and Friends sets. But in all seriousness, please let me know if you disagree. Yeah, you probably disagree. But please tell me what you put in your order. If I forgot anything, I think I am. But please tell me if you agree with my choice of the Wharf as first, or if you'd even put Henry's Tunnel on the list. Please just tell me. I'd like to know what you guys think. And also, please tell me if I did a good job on this, and if you'd like to see specifically any other content, or you want to see this again with a different topic. Please let me know, and I'll deliver. But thank you so much for watching if you watched this whole entire 15-minute video. Signing off, I'm Cam. Hopefully you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.